Hello and welcome again to Battle Ready. Drake and I have had a chance to play a couple of games of Age of Sigmar at this point.
Like 60?
More than 60.
What?
And we've really been enjoying it, and it's been a good time. But mostly we sort of go back and forth between Path to Glory and match play games.
Yes.
And in match play, we typically stick with the General's Handbook, and the General's Handbook has 12 battle plans to choose from. We've played all of them at this point, but some are funner than others, at least for us. So I thought we would just take a quick chat, sort of rank the fun ones, and talk about what we like and what we don't like. And this, disclaimer, this isn't to say that these are the good ones and the other ones are the bad ones. And frankly, if you're looking at it from a competitive tournament type setting, these might be completely wrong, right? This is sort of our opinion and our completely casual play, what gives us the most fun. Now there's 12 battle plans, and they sort of, when I was looking at them, they sort of break down into 3 categories. There's the top 4 that I love, and I think are super fun, and I would play them every time. Then sort of the middle 4, they're all good, and I like them. They may not be my absolute favorite, but I would have a good time playing any one of them. And then the bottom 4, which are okay. They're okay. I'd play them. I've had fun playing them. There's only one out of the all 12 that I dislike, and we'll get to that one.
I think we've ever played Tooth and Nail. I was looking at it, and I don't think we have.
We've played it once. It's the one I don't like, so we'll get to that one. So let's start at the top, the ones that we like the most. The exact order is not super important. I didn't really try to order it by an exact ranking, but the 3 buckets of fabulous, good, and okay are about right. So anywhere within these. But the first one I thought we'd talk about, and this one might actually be my very favorite, is tectonic interference. So in tectonic interference, you have 3 objectives across the table in a line, and thank you, Drake.
Something like that?
Something like that. And each time you roll off, and one of them becomes the alpha. Each battle round, one of them becomes the alpha.
That one?
You get the alpha, it's worth 2 points. You get the other ones, it's worth 1 point. You get points for your battle tactic, and then you go. But each battle round, you roll off again. So the alpha can, and often does, switch between the 3 of them.
Although this one's the least likely. You have to roll a 7.
No, that's a different one.
Oh.
For tectonic interference, it's D1, 2, 3. So they're all equally likely.
A one-sided die. How do you do that?
So here's what I love about it. I love that it really forces you to look at all the objectives. Oftentimes, you can win a match play game just by having more than your opponent. So if there's 4, or let's say there's 3, you just pile up on 2, you let them have their stupid 1, and then that's that.
Yeah.
And this one, it's not as easy to do that, because if the 1 happens to be the alpha, then they're going to get the same amount of points as you do, and they could get more if they get battle tactics and you don't. And so it forces you to have at least a little bit of a plan on the other objectives, if you can, in the beginning. Sometimes as the game goes on and your guys die, that's not a thing anymore. But I do like that. And I like the shifting focus where maybe you have somebody, a unit or a hero that sort of woggles between 2 of the objectives so that he can count on more than 1. Woggles. That's a thing.
When does that become a word?
It's always been a word. So I really like that. I like that shifting objective where you're constantly going back and forth to sort of find it. Do you like tectonic interference?
Yes.
Yeah. What do you like about it?
I like how you can't just have a pile up on 2 objectives and just sit there for the rest of the game.
Yeah, it does make it harder to do that. And also you get the 3 of them out there, and because of the smaller board, it's a little bit easier to, at least between the middle one and one of the edges, to sort of woggle back and forth between them, right? So I do like that. I like when there's a lot of movement in the games. The scenarios that encourage movement are my favorite.
And it also hurts elite armies.
Maybe. Unless, if your elite guys are able to keep that control that objective.
Yeah, but elite armies have few models that tend to be slow.
Well, they might be. Well, I guess it just depends, but not always are they slow. All right. So, second up, Veins of Gur. Veiny. All right, this one also has 3 objectives, all of which are prime, so you're not going to get to remove them.
Wait.
But this is the one you were thinking about. In the first battle round, there's actually no objectives. They're just not there. In the second battle round, you get 1 that drops along the edge, but it's not even. You roll 2d6. On a 7, it's in the middle. But if it's above, it's on one side, and if it's below, it's on the other. So you're actually not too likely to have objectives in the middle.
Yeah.
And that's good because if they're all in a line on the middle, that's how you could do it in the old one in 2.0. I forget what the name of that one was called. It was like Star Strike or something like that.
Yeah, Starfall Comet.
Yeah, something
Starfall
like that.
Comets.
But
Thingamajigs.
sometimes they would all line up and you'd be like, okay, all right. Whereas this one, it's far more likely that you're going to have them sort of all over the board. And I really like that. So you might have 1, all the way on the side, and you have all your forces over there. And then the third battle round, 2 more drop in, 1 in your territory, 1 in your opponent's territory. Same sort of rolls. So now oftentimes you're all over the board trying to get objectives, and it's pretty fun. I like that again, and I like that you don't know where the objectives are going to be or all of them are going to be until the start of the third battle round. So you sort of have to hedge your bets a little bit. You can't fully commit to one area because if you throw all your forces in on one spot and the roll ends up being somewhere else,
Oof.
you're going to be in trouble. And I like that. I like that it prolongs the movement game.
Unless you're a Stormcaster Knight on it, you can summon.
Yeah, that's another thing. Is
Then
keeping some guys in
you might
reserve
be
to
good.
summon onto the place. That's pretty good. And when we've played Night Hunt and Stormcast, we've both taken advantage of that to try to get onto that objective. All right, third in the really good ones that I enjoy a lot is Feral Foray. So this is the one we played most recently, where there's actually 6 objectives, 3 in your territory.
Oh yeah, I remember that
3
one. I almost
3
won.
in yours, 3 in the opponent's. And the cool thing about it is that you standard scoring, so 1 point for 1, 1 for 2, 1 for more. But if you control an objective on your opponent's area, you can burn it for a point.
So
And that is really cool because not only do you get points that way, but
it stops your enemy from getting points.
it stops your enemy from getting points. And the thing I like the most about it is once you burn it, there's no value to having your troops there anymore.
Yeah. So you get
So
to
it
keep
encourages
marching.
you, yes, it encourages you to raid in, burn something, and then move it. So that in that game, you're constantly, or in that battle plan, I should say, you're constantly moving around and feinting this way and pushing in and then retreating, and it prolongs the movement game. There's a lot more movement where you see your forces go really all over the map in different little pincer maneuvers and things like that, and it's really, really fun. I like Tectonic Interference. Maybe I like Feral Foray too. Both those are some of my favorites.
I like Feral Foray better.
You like Feral Foray the best?
Yeah.
Better than that one?
So basically,
Because you like burning my stuff.
basically this objective here, 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 there.
Yep.
Around that area. I have to
So-
measure with my hands. Or
The last one in the really good section that I really enjoy, I think we may have only played it once, but I've
I think we
really
played
enjoyed it.
2 times.
Have we played it twice? Is The Vice.
Oh, it's so good.
The Vice is a super fun one because you
favorite.
start off with 4
Deep, deep, deep,
and they're in
deep.
the 4 corners of the battlefield. But then in the second, they move in. There's still 4 of them, but they're more in the middle.
Deep, so more
And then at the beginning of the
spirit.
4th battle round, they all merge into one objective.
That is.
So you go from sort of spreading out and having control over your side, and they have control over their side. And as the game progresses, you just march until
Eventually.
bloodbath in the middle, right? As everyone fights over the single objective. I really like it. I like the way you have to move. I like the way that the objectives move in. Super duper fun. Those would be my list of the 4 best. Those the top category of I have a blast every time I play it. That's them. Okay, let's go to the middle 4. Again, these are all good. I think every one of these is good. Every one of them I would play and have a great time. No complaints about any of these. They're just not my
Best.
favorites, right? All right, so the first one is Power Struggle. Power Struggle has 5 objectives. That's sort of a square plus 1 in the center. And then it uses standard scoring, but you only get points if you've controlled an objective consecutively. Meaning the first time you get it, you don't score it. But the second time you come around, and if you still held it and nobody's stolen it from you in the middle, then you get points for it now. So it requires you to get on an objective and not just, unlike Feral Foray, where you can jump on, burn it, and move. This one requires you to get on it and hold it for at least one turn. But also, it sort of encourages the other person to jump in there and steal it. Because even if you take it back, you don't get to score it, right? Because you have to hold it for 2 turns. So it is interesting. I like the way that it can encourage you to go different ways. And there's 5 objectives. So usually you have one that's super safe on your side. And then you have the middle one that's very contested. And then you've got the other one on your side that either you're hoping is safe or the other guy's trying to push into or you're trying to push into theirs. So it does lead to some interesting situations. And because there's 5 objectives, your forces are spread out a little bit. They're a little thin.
You might want horde armies for this battle plan.
Well, I'm sure if you had lots of units, that would be good.
Yeah, like Skaven and Nighthawk could play this really well.
Yep. So I like that one. The other one that's good in this category is First Blood. So First Blood is, it's almost like your basic game. So it's got 3 objectives along the diagonal. And nothing's prime. But, oh no, are they all prime? Maybe they're all prime. I forget. But each round, it's basically standard scoring, and that's it. There's no special rules. The only special rule is that whoever goes second gets to pick the vantage point.
Ooh.
And next round, whoever controls the vantage point
Like,
gets a bonus command point. And then whoever goes second that battle round gets to pick a new one. So it's a way to maybe get a bonus command point each round. Cool. It's nothing special. I mean, it's not something where it's not as good as, for example, Veins of Tectonic Interference, where it's worth a whole extra point, so you're constantly looking for it. If the other guy gets the vantage points and gets an extra command point, oh well.
unless they're Skrog, then they can spend it for
It's almost like you get a
controlling
bonus
the moon.
command point for going second. So normally it's whoever goes first gets 1, and whoever goes second gets 2. In this one, maybe for going second, you'll get a bonus 1 next turn. Maybe if you control it. It's fine. It's fine. It's basic. It's like a basic one. I like it fine. It's good. Next is Savage Gains. Been to the gym. It's gonna get Savage Gains, bro. Drink its protein. It's protein. All right. This one has objectives in a diamond. So there's 1 on your territory, 1 on the opponent's territory, and then 2 on the side, sort of in no man's land. And the scoring is different. You get 1 point for the one in your territory, because it's easy, it's yours. 2 points for the ones outside, and 4 points for the one in your opponent's territory.
That's the big gains.
That's the big gains. So that one is really good. It's fun. I like that the scoring is different.
This is one of my favorite ones out of this category.
You like this one?
Yeah, I like it a lot.
I know that there is an issue where Sons of Behemoth can kick one of the objectives and change the scoring.
Oh, yeah.
So we don't have that army, so it's not an issue for us. But I know that could be.
Not Behemoth.
Well, whatever it is.
Kick, until it's at the other side, and suddenly your objective's worth 4 points.
Yeah, you could do that.
In addition to another objective.
If I kick the one that's 1 point into the middle, now it's worth 2 points for me.
Yeah.
But it's not worth 4 points for you anymore. So you can't get 4 points.
That's savage.
Isn't it savage? So so there is that issue with it. Luckily, that's not one that we have to deal with. So there it is. But it's pretty fun. It's a good way to really encourage people to march into the foreign territory.
It's just another reason.
And also to protect your own. So I really like that one.
It's just another reason for me to start weeding for 9 years to buy Sons of Behemoth.
Yeah, get your weeding money.
So I can just start kicking it into the middle. Kick all objectives in the middle. Then
Yep.
we just have a game of middle. Get off my land!
All right, the last one in this category is Marking Territory. This one is almost the most basic one. So it doesn't even use traditional scoring. There's no victory points. Instead, you get 4 objectives in a square, and whoever controls all of them wins. That's it. That's
straight?
That's just straight. But this is the one that's I still like because it's whoever controls all the objectives, and on turn 3, you get to remove one.
So you move from far away from you.
So you control 3 of them. You go second in the turn. You remove the one you don't control, and then you hold it so that the other guy can't get them. Mm-hmm. And then you control all 3 and win.
Yeah, so that's basically a cheaty way to win.
It's not cheaty, but it's
strategy.
It ends the game quick. So you get a lot of gambits where you have your strategy, and you could play out all 5 rounds. And if it does go to 5 rounds, then whoever did the most battle tactics wins. So
Yeah.
that's fine. It's like each battle tactics worth a point, I guess.
Yeah.
But you get to do these gambits where, if I can thrust in, I have a shot of controlling this objective. Now, he might take it back from me and I'll get my forces crushed. But if I can control it for that one important turn, I might win the game right there automatically. So I really like that. It's one that I think you have to be aware of. So if you were going to play with a friend, if you're going to introduce a friend to Warhammer, I don't know that would be the one you pick because it could be feel bad when you take all 3 objectives and they lose halfway through the game.
Yeah.
But if they know what they're doing and they've played before, it's really an interesting one that mixes up what's good and what's bad.
I have an amazing Night Hunt strategy for this that we have with our Blade Geists instead of our Reiknor.
What's your amazing strategy?
So look, what you do is you have everything except my Death Star, my Blade Geists, and my Grimghasts. The Grimghasts take these 2. My Death Star takes this one. I wait until I hopefully go second on round 3. I take that one, and then you can't, because these 2 are going to be super far away, and I'll probably back them up. And that one's going to be impossible to break because that's 44 bodies.
Okay.
That's the strategy on how to win.
That's your strategy? All right, we'll try that next time. We'll try it.
I shouldn't have said that.
All right, now we come to the final bucket. Now these ones, all of them except for one, I would play and have a good time. I don't think any of these are bad.
Let's start with the one you don't like.
But these are like, I would just rather play any of the other ones.
Yeah. Let's start with the one you don't like.
No, we'll leave that one for last. Okay, so the next is survival of the fittest. There's 3 objectives on the diagonal.
Boop, boop, boop.
And it's basic scoring. Everything's basic except each side gets to pick 3 predator units. And if one predator kills another predator, the person who did the killing gets a bonus point.
Ooh, that's good.
It's okay. And it's, like I said, I would still play it.
That'd be good with the Death Star. You just choose your chain rasps, and like your Guardian.
But then what if I snipe your Guardian?
Oh yeah,
And I get a point?
you do your chain rasps, and like your Banshee.
That's the thing. I think if you have a good shooter, that's a great one to pick as your predator because they can kill without worrying about getting so much into combat, right? I think if you've got something that's pretty hard to kill, like maybe some buffed up Plague Bearers.
Or Death Star.
Right, where they keep coming back.
Yeah, where they just
You can pick those guys and you're not going to give up points. And then if you pick something that's going to be very killy, like maybe you have Annihilators or something like that and you're going to bring them in, that's great and all, but then they have a job, right? They need to kill something big, and if the opponent doesn't pick that as their predator unit, you don't really want to pull them off of what's going to capture an objective in order to get a predator unit. I see this as, like I said, it's fine. I'd play it. I've had fun playing it. But the predator thing is sort of a more complicated vantage point. It's almost the same battle plan, except instead of picking a vantage point, you pick these predator units. And it's okay. It's okay. Thoughts?
Yeah. I think it's a little bit easier to win if you're Karajan. Because they have so much shooting, you can just snipe everything.
You pick the Ironclad and the Frigate, and then each of them is backed up by Endrinriggers. And then maybe the Admiral inside the Ironclad or something.
So it's hard
Those are your 3 predators. And then the 2 boats can kill stuff, right, with their shots.
And their smaller gun powers. So
they would be good in that one, for sure. Okay, next one. Apex Predators. Apex Predators, there's only 3 objectives, and they're all in a staircase. So they're on the diagonal.
Beep, beep.
Basic scoring, but only leaders control objectives.
I hated this one when we played with Cool Boys.
It's not so great.
The first time we saw Cool Boys.
That's when I was Cool Boys, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though I was a little hero heavy, but my heroes were slow. His heroes were a lot faster.
That's the thing is, here, especially if you've got a lot of. First of all, some lists don't even have that many heroes. Our Karajan list only has 2, right?
It'd be impossible. You could barely.
You could only control 2, right? Or you could kill it and stop your opponent from controlling. Plus, a lot of heroes are, sometimes you have your big hero. You've got your Bastion or your Indrasta or your
Gordrak.
Gordrak, right?
You just use Gordrak.
You've got a big hero, but a lot of times heroes are support units, right? They're 5 wounds,
Lord
6
Arcanum.
wounds. And, well, he's got a little bit
Adjudicator.
more. But like Lord Relictor, right? He can heal, he can do some cool stuff, but he's only 6 wounds.
Or the Adjudicator, his Warp Blade's terrible.
Yeah, he's only 5 wounds, right?
And
And
the only
putting
thing he's
him
good for
out
is just
into
Terminus
onto an
Grippo.
objective, so basically forcing them into combat, where the battle line are going to be, where the other hammers are going to be. I don't know. And then once they die, you brought them for a reason. You brought them because they gave you a spell or they gave you a buff of some kind.
And they gave you good shooting.
Right, and then now that's gone. Yeah. So I don't know. Apex Predators. Meh. The sort of the opposite of that is power in numbers. So this one has 6 objectives in a rectangle. The objectives score based on how long you've held them. So the first turn you have them, they're worth 1 point. Second turn 2, third turn 4, fourth turn 4, and if you have them all 5 battle rounds, they're worth 8 in the final battle round. The trick of it though is you have to, if any of them are contested by battle line, only battle line can hold it.
Ooh.
So if you've got a cool big monster on there or whatever, and I tow in with 1 Liberator, I get it.
Ooh.
Because only once battle line are there, only battle lines can control it. It's neat. It's fine. We've played it before.
So even if you put all the Gordrax
All the Gordrax. Your army is 100% Gordrax.
and all the Mega Gargants and all the Gobspracks in the world on one objective, one Chainrest comes, the Chainrest has it.
Yep. So
He's just like,
it's okay. I mean, it's nice that there's 6 of them, and that unlike Apex Predators, where it has to be a leader, if there are no battle line around it, standard rules, right? So you can control objectives with no battle line. That's fine. But it gives battle line an additional thing to do, which I like, and it does. The only thing I don't really like about it is the scoring, how it continually buffs up and buffs up and buffs up, because there are. It creates some weird incentives where sometimes you want to just, you could go in and fight and kill some stuff, but you're like, man, I've been on this objective for 3 turns. I want to stay here and get 4 points.
Yeah.
I do like that sometimes your opponent is in that situation, and so you want to go out and kill them so that they reset back to 1.
Yeah.
Right? That's
good.
a big deal.
It's good.
But it also is a really big deal in that if you do that on turn 3 and they have to start over at 1, they might not be able to catch up.
Yeah.
So you can have a big turn.
So
if you double on the 3rd battle round, you could basically put them out of the game, and there's nothing they can do about it.
So like you have your Glaive Wraiths and your Grimghasts and your Banshees over there.
You're very Nighthawk focused today.
I'm just pointing out Horde armies.
Uh-huh.
And you have every last other model in I have every last model in my list. Run at your objectives and just destroy you on round 3.
Yeah, and even
I
if you only take it for 1 turn and I take them back,
It's still
then
nothing.
I'm reset back to 1, and you've got up to you're near in the 4s, eventually you're in the 8s, and there's just no coming back from
There's
that.
no coming back.
So have I played it and had fun? Yeah, I would play this again. It's still a fun battle plan, but it's just not in the favorite bucket.
Yeah.
The last one is the one battle plan that I just don't really like, and that's Tooth and Nail. There's 4 objectives in a square. The 2 outside the territories are non-prime. The 2 in the territories are prime. Standard scoring, but this is the one that has the no reserves rule. So you can't have Nighthaunt in the underworld. You can't have Stormcast in the heavens.
Why would someone make this?
Yeah, that's the thing is, if it's Stormcast versus Cruel Boys, for example, Cruel Boys in that battle plan,
They're chilling.
they still get their venom-encrusted weapons.
They still get their nasty tricks.
They still get their nasty tricks. If you're a Scions of the Storm Stormcast army,
Oof.
too bad.
Too bad, so sad.
You brought in your Annihilators because you were going to have them come down and do their big old charge. It was going to be amazing.
You roll Tooth and Nail.
Nope. Now you put them out and they get their stupid 4-inch move or whatever it is.
It's 4 inches.
They can't do anything. It's awful. And so I don't like that there are certain armies that are built around this as their battle trait, right? This battle trait is really what helps the army move. And this battle plan basically says, no,
thank you.
You just have to do it in a dumb way. And I really dislike that. I think that's the only battle plan of the 12 that I'm just not a fan of.
Same.
Maybe if you were playing 2 armies that didn't have that. So maybe you're playing Cruel Boys versus Gloomspite.
I'd be down for Gloomspite because most of my army moves really fast. I get the Squigs in to deal the high damage, then the Trolls number in
what
after.
I'm saying is if you don't have reserves anyway,
Yeah.
then fine. But a lot of armies do, right? Some have it as battle traits like Nighthaunt and Stormcast. A lot of them have specific units. Daughters of Cain have the Heart Renders or Life Takers, whichever
Slime
one
Fleet.
it is. There's the Slime Fleet in Nurgle. So a lot of them have units where that's a big deal, and this battle plan just turns it off. So I'm not a big fan.
Yeah.
All right, any final thoughts on these particular battle plans?
Wait, Oh, summon units can't be charged or shot.
Yeah, so if you're playing Chaos and I summon in some Plague Bearers or whatever, they can't charge the first turn they're in. And they can't shoot either.
Why would you make this a rule?
Yeah, it's not great.
This hurts Chaos and Seraphon if you're playing Starborn.
Oh yeah, and Seraphon, that's true.
So if you put down a Bastillodon, nope.
Yep.
Nope. No, sir.
All right, well, those are our picks for favorite battle plans. Again, this is from a casual perspective, the ones that we have the most fun with the armies that we have. But if you are looking for a great time, you're picking up Warhammer, you've played a couple of games and you're looking for, at the GHB, the General's Handbook, which battle plan should I look for? I think the top 4 recommendations would be Tectonic Interference, Veins of Gur, Feral Foray, and the Vice.
But if you're using
Those ones are there's going to be a lot of movement with those.
Yeah.
So you'll get to play each phase out and constantly change up what you're looking for.
But if you're looking for Nighthaunt or Stormcast, don't play Tooth and Nail.
Yeah, I would avoid
Just
Tooth and Nail. I mean, and somebody that might come out and say that's my favorite one because of X, Y, Z, and great. If you love it, 100%. I don't want to yuck anybody's yum. But if you're playing at my table, that would not be the first one that I chose to use. Well, let us know what you think, which ones are your favorites, and I'd be interested to hear if you agree or if you disagree and I got everything wrong. I'm happy to hear about that. But this has been an episode of Battle Ready, and thank you for watching.
Wow! Objectives.